Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 23rd. You have this Let It Bounce Off card and this Crazy Wisdom card as well. Pisces has crazy wisdom, so I would be using your wisdom to be very successful. You have this Thunder Mountain card. It says let it bounce off, like as in let things bounce off of you, which definitely, especially with Saturn in Aries for you, Pisces, I think you need to be careful of getting too excited about things, like road rage, people in your life not doing what you want them to do, all that other stuff. I would just let it roll off you. And don't get too excited at this time. I would say for more than just this week, probably, for, if at least until like September, I would, try to stay in that positive mood, try to do things to, stay positive and not get too excited. The other thing that I would say with the Knight of Wands and the Magician here is that like finding, if you are finding yourself having a lot of like hot and bothered type of energy, finding something to channel that energy into would be very beneficial. It could be anything like a creative project, a hobby, a karate class. I don't care, but I would channel it into something if I were you. You have the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So looks very good for money. It is a very good time for money for you, Pisces. You're going to have to work for it. And also, you have that Crazy Wisdom card. So you have a lot of wisdom, but I think you need to use it. You have the Judgment card. The thing about the Judgment card is, personally, I really like the Judgment card, but those people are rising up out of these coffins. They're still kind of like an attachment to their past. The coffin still represents their past life, which they have to completely let go of to step into the new life, right? And so I feel that for you, where it's like there are still some attachments or some things that maybe you have to release so that you can increase your finances and make more money. And I would definitely be doing that. Also, I can see in your next row, you have this card that says believe in the impossible, which I definitely feel is true for Pisces. Like I feel it is a time for Pisces to exceed their own expectations and to do something harder. So, again, if you're just doing the same thing you've been doing, you're not going to make more money, obviously. But if you do something new that causes you to grow or something you'd have to learn, then you will make more money. And that's what I would be doing here. You also have a lot of love in this reading. And again, as I've been saying to you, it's a really good time for love. You have the King and Queen of Pentacles here. So I like the King and Queen of Pentacles. They're two people who really want to make something work. Sometimes these two can be a little bit boring together. Like there's not enough. Like, sometimes I feel there isn't enough spiciness in the connection with the King and Queen of Pentacles, but we'll see what comes up. We're going to clarify. And you do have the Lovers here and the Sun, so a lot of happiness. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles can be a big offer that has a lot of potential. Again, that believe in the impossible card. It's a very good card. But again, what you get out of it is what you're going to put into it. So I would make sure that you're really kind of putting the energy into any like solid opportunities that are coming your way or anything you're creating or working on. I think putting in the extra work is going to be very beneficial with the Ace of Pentacles, but there could be like a big money opportunity coming in for you at this time. You even have the Page of Pentacles, and same thing. Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness. So if you are getting any opportunities this week, I would really be studying them. I think it might be a good week for you to like look into the opportunity and see if it's actually going to be good for you or not, or see if it could be beneficial or not. And, just kind of like see what happens, see what you learn about it, right? And I think that would be very beneficial for you. This could also be a new person again. So again, this could be communication coming in for you. A lot of people right now, I'm not sure why. I really don't have a good answer, Pisces, but for some reason, it seems like a lot of people really could be getting into connections that like start with communication. And so, again, it just could be a new connection that starts with communication that's coming in for you here. Definitely could be an earth sign. It could be any sign. You have earth, you have fire. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I would open up. Like, if you are meeting a new person, I wouldn't be too closed off with the Nine of Wands. Although I feel pretty good about this. I mean, Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior, but he's not giving up. It's a card of perseverance. I do think you have to be perseverant at this time. Especially, for you, like, Pisces in your 30s, like me, I think that you really need to kind of like push through this year. Not that it's like a particularly bad year, but I don't think it is a bad year. I just think there are some things that the middle-ish aged Pisces have to push through. I think all Pisces have to push through things. I just think it's a little bit more challenging for you middle-ish aged Pisces because again, if like me, you were born with a bunch of stuff in Capricorn, which if you were born in the 80s, most of you have a bunch of stuff in Capricorn, it's all being squared by Saturn. So, there's definitely a lot of work to be done, but don't give up. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Four of Cups. Yeah, it's like, I think this is something you are going to have to take another look at here, Pisces, as well. So the Four of Cups, he's been disappointed at least 3 times before, and now he's getting this new offer right here. And he should accept this cup into his life because he will be happy that he did. And, the 3 cups here basically say he has learned from those 3 cups. He has learned what to look out for. He has learned how to, he should be applying those lessons, these 3 cups, to this 1 cup. And if he does that, he will be successful. So, I think it would be a really good time for you to realize that if you're getting a new opportunity in any area of your life, love, money, spiritually, whatever, that you have learned what you need to make it successful. So don't ignore new opportunities. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the 3 of Cups. Yeah, probably because you will be celebrating this in the future. 3 Cups is a card of a celebration. These 3 ladies are celebrating a harvest that's going on around them. And like I said, I think it's time for Pisces to have a harvest. So if you've been putting the work in, trying to make your business successful or your career successful, definitely could be a harvest. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says a new start is coming. There you go. Judgment, definitely. You have this believe in the impossible. Yes, I definitely feel that Pisces needs to believe in the impossible right now. Because, again, you're meant to accomplish something, harder right now. I've been talking to you about this for years, how, with Neptune and Pisces, the whole point of that for Pisces is to go accomplish the impossible dream. I literally say this to you all the time. And so I think it is time for Pisces to get started, right? Neptune has left Pisces. It is in Aries. Yes, it will retrograde back into Pisces, but only for a short period of time before moving back in at the beginning of next year. And so I would get started. It's it will be retrograding. You kind of have one more chance to really figure out what you want your life to look like this year, before January 26th of next year, basically. Although I would get started now. I wouldn't be, walking around with my head up my butt at this time, Pisces. So, I would definitely be dreaming, but I would be taking action on those impossible dreams. You have the Justice card, the 8 of Cups, and the Sun. Justice is cause and effect, and, I am kind of getting a weird message here, Pisces, on this card. I think that you need to do things without results. And I'm not saying that you're not going to be getting results, but I kind of feel like this is saying if you're going to be starting something new, just get started and don't worry too much about results right now. You will get results. And I'm also not saying that you should ignore results either, but I'm talking about right now, this week. It would be fine for you to get started on something that you're working on and to not worry too much about what you are receiving for what you're doing. Obviously, you don't want to wait a year for results if you're working on a business or something like that. I think we have to do everything in balance. That's what the Justice card says. Normally, with the Justice card, I would say you have to pay attention to results. It's a card of cause and effect. If I take this action, what do I get for this action? But I kind of feel like this is saying just this week, it would be better for you to get started on something that you're creating and just put in the work, right? And don't worry so much about what you're getting out of it. I don't know, weird message, but there you go. You have the 8 of Cups. I definitely a good time to close out the past. Anything that you need to close out from the past, I think would be a really good thing for you to do right now. Your technically your ruling planet, Neptune, has moved into the first house, right? Aries. Not your first house. I'm talking about just the generic, astrology first house, Aries, right? And so in a lot of ways, I think you are closing out cycles. I think you are kind of letting things go and moving past things. So I think it's a good time for healing, letting things go. We go from the 8 of Cups up to the Judgment card. So definitely releasing things. Stepping into new energy, I would be doing all of that. I also definitely feel Pisces is on a journey this year that will probably end somewhere around February or March, around your birth time, right? Next year. basically. And so, what does that look like? I have no freaking clue. I would say that probably by this time next year, by like, maybe even sooner, like by April or May of next year, it wouldn't surprise me if you are in a very different place, compared to where you are right now. I'm not trying to be mysterious or clickbaity either. I just see it. I think there's a lot of change coming in for you that could be a little bit unexpected. And again, I'm not trying to be mysterious here or anything like that. So don't take this the wrong way. I just think that between now and September especially, this is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. So between now and September, the next set of eclipses, I think that there could be some things that come up that kind of like make you things that make you go, huh? Things that make you kind of just question things in your life. Things that make you say, I wonder what's over there. And I would be going on adventures if I were you, Pisces. And guess what? I am. You have this Knight of Wands right here. I am going on adventures, except for I had to cancel a recent adventure. One thing I would say is trust your intuition. I was supposed to travel with my brother a couple weeks ago, and I said, I just got a weird feeling about it, and I said, no, we're not going. So, it's like, I think it's time for adventure unless you feel something weird. Trust your intuition, like I did. So we postponed our adventure. I'm going to go on an adventure a little in a couple of months, basically. But, that's what I'll say about that. But adventure is good for you. You have the sun. The sun is shining on you, Pisces. Definitely could be getting a lot more attention. As I've said to you a million times in the past, Pisces are the leaders of the future. Because you had Uranus in your second in Aries back in like 2008 or whatever that was, a very difficult place for Uranus to be. And Uranus in the second already sucks for most people, but when it's in Aries, it's even worse. So luckily, none of us Pisces that are alive right now will ever experience that again. We'll all be dead. So thank God, right? But one thing is I think that is partially the energy that taught Pisces a lot of lessons that people are about to learn. And so I always stress this point to you, Pisces, that you are like one of the leaders of the future. And I feel like you have to act like it, because there are going to be a lot of benefits that come from the attention that you'll be getting. But again, you're here to like show people how to survive. And I think that could be where the attention is coming from. With the Justice card, you have the Four Wands. Definitely could be marriage potential. If this is a person, I think it'll be a very fair person that's coming in for you. Just feels like something that you like fall into as well. I kind of feel like Pisces is a little bit maybe, like, I wouldn't say that you're sick of love with that Nine of Wands, but I just think that you're maybe kind of like, okay, maybe like how I think about love doesn't really exist, And I kind of feel this could be something that just you fall into, basically, where it's like you're not really looking for it, but maybe it just happens. Could definitely lead to marriage in the future. The Four Wands also a card of freedom. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, I do feel Pisces is in a weird like situation right now, or in a weird feeling. It's like, I don't know, call me crazy, Pisces, but it's like the past few weeks, it's like I haven't really been feeling aimless, but I almost feel aimless, right? It's like which is weird for me because I have like a 900 things that I work on at once, but and I have like plenty of things that keep me busy. I have several businesses that I run as well, so it's not like I need anything to motivate me or anything. But what I would say is I just like, I don't know, it's like I have this feeling of like, where the hell am I going? And I don't know, maybe some of you are feeling like that. And if you are feeling like that, I wouldn't worry about it, because I feel in the very near future you are going to get some clarity. That's what like the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles and the Judgment card is saying to me. It's almost like, I don't feel like it's necessarily excitement, but it kind of feels like excitement. It kind of feels like you're like, oh, this is the journey that I need to go accomplish. This is the thing I need to go do. With the Sun, you have the Eight of Cups. Yes, walking away from things that no longer serve you. I do think you need to find happiness. Like, you need to find something that fulfills you. Could even be a hobby or something like that. I think I told you, like, a couple weeks ago, I joined a class that I'm taking just based off a hobby, just because, right? And it's been really good for me because I've, like, met new people. I've gotten out of the house already. And, my next class is Monday, tomorrow. Actually, the day this video will be published, right? And so, it's been really good for that reason. And I, trust me, I'm a very typical Pisces. Like, if I have to go do something, I just want to be home, right? And so I've been forcing myself to do this, and it's been great. So I think this is saying, like, you need to find fulfillment, right? It's something that makes me happy to do, right? And that's what I feel with that Eight of Cups. And it's been really helpful for me. And trust me, I've like the first time I had to force myself, right? So, I would do it. Go find something to do in public. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this higher power card and this flexible card. I really don't think Pisces has a hard time being flexible, like looking at other ways of doing things or doing things in different ways. But, still, I would still be, flexible and just, be open to all ways of doing things. And I think if you do that, you'll be fine. You are clearly being guided. You have that higher power card. You also, on the judgment card, we have this right here. This is your higher self angel on the judgment card, and the higher self angel is calling these people out of these coffins and is calling these people into their new life, but they have to completely let go of the past. I think that for Pisces, what you have to let go of is your story. We all have a story that we tell ourselves, whatever the hell it is, right? And I think we need to keep track of it. And sorry, I can't find it. I think I left it upstairs, but I have my little notebook, right? And I wish I had it so I could show you. But inside a note, I have this like little notebook, right? There's a book on Amazon. You can actually read it for free on here on YouTube. Actually, you can listen to it. It's called It Works by RHJ, right? And my favorite version is the Mitch Horowitz version, but whatever. And in that book, you write down a list of things that you want, right? In as much detail as you wish, and you read it as as many times as you can per day. So I read it like in the morning, I read it in the afternoon and the night. Like I pretty much read it 3 times a day, and you just put the things that you want in life on there. And so lately I've been doing it like my story, as in like what I want my story to be is what I've been writing on it and reading it 3 times a day. And I don't know, it's free. It doesn't cost any money. It takes about 30 seconds 3 times a day. Is that a big deal? No. So even if you don't believe in it, you might as well try it because it's free. So I would do something to change your story there. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. Lately, Queen of Pentacles has been saying multiplication to me. I think we're in a time of multiplication where we should be paying attention to how we can multiply. Again, I'm not saying AI is a good thing. People keep coming at me for the robots. Like, trust me, I don't want the robots to take over either. And, so I don't really feel good about AI either. I'm just using this as an example. If you think about it, AI is producing multiplication because it's like now people are able to get more work out of the things that they're doing using AI, right? So technically, we are in a time of multiplication. And the Queen of Pentacles wants us to multiply. So I would be looking at your work and saying, how can I get more out of this work than I put into it? Or, are there certain activities that you do that you get more out of that, where you can just do that one activity. I'll give you a great example. I'm thinking about starting another top secret channel, and I'm just going to record basically the voiceover of the video, right? And I'm just going to hire everything else out. And so like I've been thinking like, how can I take my skill and like get a lot more out of it? It's very easy for me to hire people and all that other stuff. So, I don't know, just something I'm thinking about, right? Since we're talking about me today, I don't know why, but there you go, Pisces. Very good for money. I also feel this could be love. You could be attracting an earth sign. You have the Page of Swords. I do feel like some of you have someone that's spying on you here, Pisces. I feel like this person, I don't know. I feel like this person will approach you, is what I would say. So I wouldn't even worry about it. But, definitely could be a person that has their eye on you. With the Judgment card, you have the Hermit. Yes, it's time for you to say those things that you are scared to say, basically. I think that's where success will come from for Pisces. Even with that, Pluto in Aquarius, I think Pluto in Aquarius is the fear of sometimes, not always, but I think it's like the fear of exposure, the fear of speaking up and being wrong, the fear of saying something and people making fun of you, the fear of saying something and getting canceled or whatever, right? And so I think it's time for Pisces to speak up. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in one of your recent readings. Didn't I say it's time for you to be loud? It's like time for you to, get loud. It's time for you to, say the things that you're meant to say. And you will face criticism. There will always be people that have something to say about you, but who cares, right? And so I think this is saying you need to speak up. Could be an earth sign coming in for you, Pisces. Could be, you have every earth sign here. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this has to change, like your money fears, money worries, money blocks. I think, again, there are a million things on YouTube for removing money blocks, like tapping, meditation. I'm a huge fan of tapping, meditation, visualization, affirmation. I would be doing all those things, right? This, to me, looks like a clean it up energy, this right here. So I think it's encouraging you to do things to, like, energetically clean up. And one thing I will say is I think it's a really good time for Pisces to tap into that spiritual side, right? So that's why I'm talking like this, like tapping, affirmation, meditation, manifestation, all that, right? So like I think all those things are extra beneficial for Pisces right now. With the Page of Swords, you have the Six of Wands. I think someone sees you as very special here, Pisces. I think this is a person that maybe has had their eye on you, and maybe they're just like nervous, or they have been nervous to approach you or something. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely feel like someone's going to be approaching you here, but definitely could be a lot of attention. Six of Wands can also be a victory coming in for you as well. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this unworthy card. It says, do you genuinely believe in your worthiness to attain the abundance you desire? You have this experiment card. It says, when you find yourself feeling indecisive about which direction to go, don't be afraid to experiment with multiple options to figure out what works for you. Yes, so you need to experiment for sure. Pisces, indecisive, of course. But this is coming up in the good stuff. And again, I would say that since this is coming up in the good stuff, you probably are working on your beliefs, or you probably are working on believing in yourself, which I would definitely do with those two cards. You have the Lovers, the Knight of Wands, and the Magician. The Lovers clearly could be love. I feel like there could be a solid love connection coming in for you. Like I said, it gives me this feeling of like something that you just fall into. Like I feel like some of you, like I don't want to say that you're resistant to love, but I just feel like maybe you're just kind of like a little bit resistant to love. And this feels like something that just kind of falls into place, which is, sometimes that's like the best way to do it. So, might like start slow and, kind of like just takes its time, and, there's really no rush, and, all that is good, but definitely could be a love connection. Definitely time for you to be more adventurous with the Knight of Wands, and to put yourself out there. I think we are in a very spontaneous time as well. So Knight of Wands, he can represent spontaneous opportunity. You have the Ace of Pentacles here. And I would be open, any like random opportunities that come your way, I would really be jumping into those things, those opportunities. I would really be kind of like exploring those things because, I don't know, you just never know what you might discover, in those moments, those random moments, those random opportunities and things like that. You have the Magician. I think that you are manifesting things very quickly. Again, I would if I were you, I would practice like some sort of manifestation. Again, even if you don't believe it, because it's free, right? Like I said, the whole It Works thing, you can listen to it in about 20 minutes. I listen to books triple speed, right? So go on YouTube, look up It Works by RHJ, and it'll change your life. And there you go, right? So that's what I would do here with the Magician. The Magician, I always pull the card that he's pointing to. We're going to say it's this one. And Pisces' favorite word. It says, it's this pinyon pine, and it says patience on it. Pisces loves being patient. I know this about you, Pisces, because I love being patient. With the Lovers, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Straightforward. I like the Eight of Pentacles for love because, number one, it's like, it says that it's two people who are willing to put the work in. Number two, it's like very straightforward. Eight of Pentacles is like just straightforward work, meaning that this could be a connection where it's like if you just do the typical stuff, it'll work, right? Which is amazing. Being with a person that like isn't overcomplicated, right? With the Knight of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. It definitely could be some sort of opportunity that changes your fortunes. Like, this looks good. This could be like a spontaneous opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles, or that really changes your life. I don't know. I would be open to that this week, Pisces. Like random invitations, people reaching out to you and saying like, hey, would you do this? Stuff like random stuff like that. I don't know. It's popping into my head. And it feels like this week. The week of whatever this is, the 23rd. With the Magician, you have the Six of Cups. I feel like if you are attracting love, that you have been wanting something very childlike in a good way. I'm not talking about like immature. I'm talking about like something that's like more playful, lighthearted, just like nice energy. And I feel like you could be attracting that. You have this club card. It says someone will try to make you do something against your will. I would be careful of people right now, Pisces, especially with that fiery energy. Like I said, it might be, good time to work on manifestation and money blocks. Might also be a good time to work on, letting your frustration out in some way or finding an outlet for your frustration. And that's what I would do here. You have this grapes card. It says time to go out and have fun. Literally, I said it earlier in the reading about like joining a class, doing something nice for yourself, going somewhere you love to go, going for a walk in nature, whatever it is. I would do, I would do more than one thing, but I would find something to do. You have this basket. It says recognition, reward for merit. Six of Wands, Sun. We see a lot of attention here. But again, the Hermit says you have to shine bright. The Hermit says you can't stay in isolation. You have to come down from the mountain. The other thing that's popping into my head is we have the South Node in Virgo right now, and we have the North Node in Pisces, right? People who are born with like the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces, it's like their story can be that in a past life they literally became a hermit, that they escaped from the world and they hid because they were hurt or something along those lines. And so people who are born now with the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, they have to learn to kind of like not escape from the world in some way. Like that's part of it, right? And so that, even though I'm not saying that is exactly what's going on for Pisces, but kind of makes sense. You have this tortoise card. It says slowly but surely getting ahead. Yes, definitely getting ahead. You have this crown card. It says honor and respect will come to you. Yes, definitely. So this is one heck of a reading. I love this for you, Pisces. Really, really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.